Welcome to the Bill Krueger podcast. It's brought to you by Rise Above Foundation. You can visit nativeriseabove.org. You can follow Bill on X at Bill Krueger 44. He loves interacting with people on social media. So send your questions now to Bill Krueger 44. He joins us from the Puck Sports Studios, built by Limback Lumber, family owned and serving the Northwest since 1930. The Northwest premier supplier of specialized lumber and molding. Summer is here. That means it's deck and fence season. Contact the folks at Limback Lumber, 206-782-3487. Visit them online at limbacklumber.com. Yeah, I think you should do a Q&A session on X. What do you think, Bill?
I think it's I can't believe that all my marketing team hasn't decided that that's a good idea. It's quite, cut through the red tape, get a guy like you to help me, and we'd be in much better shape. Besides, I thought this was the Puck Sports Show.
It is, but this not this one. No. This is the Bill Krueger Show. Okay, this is all about you. This is all about you and the status of your Seattle Mariners.
My Seattle Mariners.
Yeah, well, ours. You know what? Let me rephrase it. Our Seattle Mariners. Bill, you've been watching for a very long time.
Yes.
They're covering them for Root Sports. What a week since we last talked. I mean, just a crazy week of baseball where it just seemed doom and gloom a week ago. Then they make a couple of moves. They sweep the White Sox, and it feels within 1 week, the course of this season, it feels like has been changed.
Well, they even before they got Rosarina and Garcia, which are two great pickups, they kind of juggled the setup a little bit. They DFA'd France. That was a head scratcher, but they did, and Vosser comes up, and Blockler's at first, and Robles is playing, and people that aren't swinging the bat good don't play as much, right?
Mm-hmm.
Really hasn't been swinging it as good. He's out. Garver's in once in a while, strikes out too much, and suddenly they caught fire. Now, hey, they couldn't score against the Astros, right?
Right.
And then they scored against the White Sox. But to their credit, they saw certainly three starting pitchers for the White Sox that are credible pitchers. Okay?
Yeah.
But, you can feel it. It's like any pitcher. If it's crumbling underneath you, the foundation is crumbling, it's kind of hard to perform, right? It just feels like they're on like quicksand out there. That's the thing. So it's good to see us. 8 homers, 21 runs. Polanco's bat has come alive. He's reborn. I think that's an interesting thing to talk about.
You can thank me for that, by the way.
Career. Hopefully he's trying to make something of it. He's been great. Vosser, who knows who he is? He's had like 3 cups of coffee. He comes up, he swung the bat pretty good. Strikeouts were down, more balls in play. They did some damage. Raleigh did some damage too. So, and their pitching is their pitching, right? Their starting pitching is very good. It still feels like they need one more guy at the end, but I don't know if they're going to get him. But it feels like they need one more guy.
One more. What you think they one more guy in the bullpen?
Yeah, I'm be frank with you, Santos for me.
What concerns you about him?
Well,
health.
Well, like I told you, I think we talked about this last week. He genuflexed on the field, did a full back bend on his back knee on a thought that it was the previous outing, and then the next outing he tweaks his knee right when things start going sour, and he can't pitch. And then he turns around and he can pitch again right away, and he's just scattery. He's just slider, dead front side. You get a big look at the ball. Can't throw a fastball for a strike. Tries to throw a slider for a strike. Doesn't have a plan. Garcia is a pro. I like him.
Mm-hmm.
Good, solid, hard fastball, in and out, tight slider, knows what he's doing. Great pickup. But who's going to pitch? Who's going to pitch? If you could ask our starting pitchers to pitch 7, they'd have to wake up maybe 1 hour later for golf the next day. I mean, it's just some little things they'd have to adjust in their calendar.
You think the golf game's getting in the way?
I mean, whatever. Whatever we can do to get them to pitch 7th. I know it's not their choice.
Huh.
But to me, that solves everything. Then you go 7, Garcia, Munoz. That works for me. And a dab in a little Saucedo and Spire.
But
they don't have an answer. They don't have that 1, 2, 3, you're done. They don't have it because Santos is not the guy. Sorry.
Okay, really? God, that surprises me because
He's not the guy.
everything
I'm just telling you right now,
looked
he's not
at
the
him. Okay, so dive deep. Okay, I want you to go deeper into why you think he's not the guy.
Well, his first outing after we waited for him to get healthy,
Okay,
he came out and he had some confrontation with Jerkson Profar. Right?
sure.
Silly stuff, right? And then his next outing, he's just hyper, which I don't think that's good for a late inning guy. And then he tries to pitch with his slider, and he can't throw his fastball for a strike. He throws 99 miles an hour. Can't throw for a strike. People sit slider against him. They sit slider. Mm. If you've been watching, they're putting balls in play.
Okay.
He's not beating anybody, and I just don't like the makeup at the end of the game. To me, he's going to have to take a couple steps back and show me he can do it, because I don't see it. I'd rather have Colin Snyder. I'd rather have Thornton. I'd rather have Voth, anybody but him. I don't want him
because he relies too much on the slider and it doesn't establish the fastball.
I don't like the makeup.
The makeup, okay, but when you say that, the makeup of the pitches or the makeup of the
pitcher?
The pitcher. Okay.
So I mean, we'll see. And it's a short sample set.
Yeah.
But he does have a great arm. That's appealing. But his fastball doesn't play big. He doesn't throw for a strike. And when I say he has a dead front side, what does that mean? That means that he drops his glove and he gives you a big look at the baseball. There's reasons why guys don't turn out the way you think they're going to turn out. I mean, it's because you get a bigger look at the baseball. Now, if you get a bigger look at the baseball, the ball's not as fast, right? You hide the ball better, it's hard to pick it up.
So he shows the ball too early for the hitters to see what's coming.
The glove drops and the front side drops and you get a big look. I mean, I'm trying to figure it out. Plus, he doesn't throw his fastball for a strike.
Okay.
When you throw 99, you got to throw it for a strike.
Okay. When you say the fastball doesn't play big, what do you mean by that?
Because you're getting a look at it, so it doesn't play as fast as the number, and then he has to pitch with his slider because he can't throw his fastball for a strike. So it's an appealing arm. He hasn't like shown it to me.
Okay.
I mean, I'd rather see the other guys than him. And like I said, I like Garcia a lot. I think he's solid. Good arm, good delivery, fastball in and out, 96, 97, slider, has a clue what he wants to do. Great pickup.
Okay. Do you so as it's currently constructed, if they were to go, and they don't do this, right? They don't really have set guys. Guy pitches the 7th, 8th, and then a guy comes in the 9th. They kind of mix and match. If they were to go a set spot, a set rotation, so to speak, what would you like to see? How would you want it to look like?
Well, I don't think you have one. I think you have to sort of call the 6th and the 7th, best case scenario. Just try to fit the matchup as best you can between Voth and Snyder, Thornton, Saucedo, and Spire. They're all kind of in that field that figures that out between the 5th and the 8th. You have to just sort of manage those guys. They've all had good moments. Thornton is, if they're right-handed, he's great. I think Snyder is also good against right-handers, but Snyder, for me, he's not afraid. He's got a little bit more downward action. I mean, Thornton's ball stays across the zone. It always looks good. It's like what looks cool on a video game isn't necessarily what works in a game. Breaking balls need to go down. They need to be shorter and quicker. They don't need to go all the way across on the same plane as the bat. That looks pretty. That looks cool. And when they swing and miss at that, it's like an ooh-ah pitch, right?
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, those are the balls you get hurt on if you miss. If you miss with it. That's what happens with Thornton. He's just a little too east-west for me, right? None of them have that kind of premium get you out kind of stuff. Spire did, but we just haven't quite seen enough of Spire if he's going to be okay. They're kind of gingerly bringing him along. He can't, and the same with Santos. They're kind of bringing him along gingerly. They have to make sure, he doesn't pitch 2 days in a row. I mean, to me, I think you solve that before they get to the big leagues. But as soon as they even feel like they're healthy, we bring them up, right? We don't let them get their feet underneath you, prove that you can throw 2 or 3 days in a row, and then bring you up, right? But that's not how they roll. But I mean, we're stuck in a gear here. I mean, this team has great starting pitching, 1 through 5, right? And that's that nobody has that. Nobody.
Mm-mm.
And so getting to the eighth and the ninth, now we have an eighth inning guy. In my opinion, we look good there. We look good. I mean, we're talking about smaller problems, right? Our problems have shrunk as Crawford and Rodriguez return. Rosarina is a guy. He's a guy, man. He comes in. He's got presence. He swings the bat with authority.
Mm-hmm.
He attacks the baseball. I mean, I like him. Now he's got a little swing and miss in him, but to me, he's a guy that says I'm the guy. I can deliver.
And why do you think that's important? Why do you think they needed that guy?
Well, because that guy, Rodriguez isn't the guy.
Was that the what's that alarm telling you for?
No,
what are you ready for? But
fault.
yeah,
Sorry.
but why the guy? Why do you need the guy that it's not just what he can deliver on the field, but the big moments he's been in? I mean, you look at his postseason numbers are just incredible what he's been able to do. But he does not seem afraid of the moment. No,
and he's proven that in his career. I mean, he had a really slow start this year, and he's come on like gangbusters the last couple of months. He's been 300, 400, 500, whatever he's been. I mean, he's been really, really good. I like the player.
You think it's enough?
Well, I think if they could, I'm trying to figure out where they might go next. It doesn't look like Guerrero is going to be pried loose from Toronto. I mean, I'm guessing he's not. To me, you make the move at first. That can't be because, listen, Tyler Locklear is not quite there yet. Mm-mm. He's got to make some adjustments. And granted, we're not giving him a lot of chances to sort of say, this is who I am as a hitter, right? He's not great at first. He's had 2 or 3 chances to pick balls. He hasn't been able to do it. France would have picked 2 or 3 of those balls. So you're losing it defensively. And there had to be a reason. Yandy Diaz is out there. Yandy Diaz doesn't hit homers, but Yandy Diaz is a pro hitter, right?
Yeah.
Now, I don't know how good a first baseman he is. I know he DHs a lot, but, we got Luke Raley. He can play over there. It just feels like first base, but, who knows where they go. I mean, Yandy Diaz, they're having a fire sale in Tampa.
They're selling everybody.
Everything's. They've taken it all out. It's not even an estate sale. You're just putting everything in the front yard. There's no appointments. Just come and rummage your way through and tell us what you pay for.
Yeah. No, Diaz would be a great. I mean, again, he's not the traditional. Well, I mean, it's kind of old school approach, but I mean, he's a career 287 hitter.
Yeah.
He slugs 432. His OPS is 804. I believe I was just going to pull this up. I think this would be a rental for him because I believe, the last year of his deal.
Yeah, he's not their fave. Like the Rosarina is a control player.
Sure.
Wow, they love that.
But it's a good backup if they, again, I'm assuming, and there are all these reports out there that they are trying to take the big swing there for Guerrero. But again, you need Toronto to want to move him. But if they miss out on him or not miss out, Toronto doesn't make him available, then I think Diaz is a perfect, I guess, consolation prize.
He's a rental, like you said.
Yeah.
Which doesn't make the prices high.
Yeah.
And you could think about him. I know they want Locklear to be the guy. I mean, they want him to be the guy. And to me, he's just got a lot of bat rap, man. A lot of bat rap.
Maybe he'll be the guy.
The breaking ball, and then they throw him a fastball, and he's beat. He's just not quite there yet. And he's got some work to do at first base. He's working hard. He's a high-character guy. He's working hard to make himself a first baseman. But it's one thing to work hard. It's one thing to be good, right? When you get to the big leagues, you got to be good.
Mm-hmm.
You got to be able to pick balls in the dirt, right? You got to be able to call for the pop-up and catch it. These are things. Our team needs to play good defense. I don't think we played exceptionally well over the weekend. Our defense was a little shaky. But I think we will play defense. I mean, Polanco is swinging the bat. And he's become an average or above average. Well, he's become an average player, which is great. I mean, to me, Puck, it's a mystery to watch him. He looks like he's still got bat speed. And to me, it almost looks like he was in the Minnesota organization since he was, 17 years old, whatever. He's been in one place his whole career. And he got here, and he's a trapeze artist, and they took the net away, and he's like, oh, my gosh, I'm not, something's wrong. and he could not sort it out.
Yeah.
For a half a season or more. A pro. His bat was leaving the zone for a fastball he couldn't cover the outside half of the plate if you paid him. But nobody could see that? The layers and layers of video and all the gurus around him and all that. He couldn't. And now his bat is staying in the zone. He's covering the breaking ball. He's covering away. He's swinging the bat with authority. He's got some pop. Defensively, not so great, but we'll live with it if he hits, right? I mean, he turns a double play nice, but boy, doesn't have range and not real. We've watched it, right? It just not great, over there. But, things solidify. When you get Rodriguez in center back and you get Crawford at short back, and they're both going to come back. Rodriguez, I guess, is going to be reevaluated on the 1st of August. And then we'll find out about this high ankle sprain, see how much longer it's going to take him. Crawford is obviously a month out.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking September for him. But he's still very important. Those two guys are important. The nice thing is they come back. They don't have to feel like it's all them because Rosarina is the guy. And Robles, the way he's swinging the bat, gosh, what a deal. I mean, like I told you, Robles scares me a little defensively.
He had a play on Sunday.
Here's the rule. When when a ball gets air underneath it, and it hits the track, that means you're playing too shallow, Jason.
Yeah.
That's the rule. If you're Paul Blair, okay, Paul, you can play there if you want, but Paul gets back there, and Paul catches that before it hits the track. So maybe you need to take a couple steps back. I know you want to be Paul Blair. Not everybody can be Paul Blair. Not everybody can be Dwayne Murphy and play right behind second base, okay? To me, he just needs to sort of just try to be solid, right?
Yeah.
Don't fumble the ball in right field in the corner. Don't lollygag and throw a lob into the second base and the guy scores from second when he shouldn't have scored from second. You can't see the ball on a fly ball in the sun. I mean, these are things that you just have seen over the last couple of weeks that kind of make you say, hey, wait a minute. He kind of unnerves me a little bit when the pressure's on.
But
right?
you live with it because
the bat is singing. He is up there and he's hunting and he's smashing the ball. He's a very talented offensive player.
Yeah,
and he's figured it out. And he's getting a chance.
He's been great.
That 1-2 at the top has been great. Rosarina and him is like, love it, right? Love it.
I want to go back to Yandy Diaz because I looked it up real quick. I guess it's not a free agent unless I'm reading it wrong. That he's under contract through 25, a club option in 26. Not a free agent until
$10 million though, right?
To 27. Yeah.
That's a little rich for her.
Sure.
Okay.
So
Whatever.
Just to bring it up. No, because I thought I'd read that he was going to be a free agent, but
yeah, I mean, the pain of having a guy that hits 290 it rakes. The pain of it all. The pain is just painful.
Good again and again. It's a good fallback option if they can't pull off and swing something for Guerrero. And I'm just curious that all reports indicate that they are still all in on him. And whatever the price tag is going to be, I assume it's two of the top three guys in their organization plus Emerson, Hancock, and probably somebody else. And we shall see. But kudos for them for
tantalizing. if he's really the problem is Toronto's like, unless you absolutely blow us over, we can pay for him. We got money.
Right.
Money's not the problem for us, whereas other places where, money's a big deal.
Yeah.
Tampa.
I wonder, does it influence Dipoto at all? Because, it's widely reported, Divish has reported this, that his understanding that it's he and Service, but we're just speaking with Dipoto right now, that this is the last year of his deal. I wonder, does he get desperate in a way a little bit at the deadline because he knows, hey, I'm not under contract for another year?
Talking about Jerry?
Yeah.
Yeah, but Jerry's what is he, the president of – he's not the GM.
Well, president, but he's making the moves. The president of the baseball team.
I mean, Justin Hollander's the GM.
I know, but he's not. But I'm saying, but my point is, who's making the trades? I mean, Dipoto's making the deals. Don't you think?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I think you can't let.
But he's under contract. But my point is that this is the last year of his deal. So do you get desperate enough to make a move in order to save your job?
Well, everything is so scripted around your job to start with. I mean, you're asking him to make deals that he didn't want to make to start the season, and now you're telling now the message is should he make risky deals in order to save his job? Well, that doesn't seem even fair on either end of it, does it?
Right. And I
It
don't know
doesn't
if
seem
the
fair.
ownership is saying that.
I mean, look at they had to get rid of money, right? And that
Right.
doesn't put you in a very good spot. I mean, look at Robbie Ray.
Sure.
Robbie Ray.
That was a
Robbie
great
Ray,
first start.
Was there any doubt that Robbie Ray was going to return from Tommy John? Can we say there was any doubt?
Yeah.
I suppose there's an infinitesimal part that could say he's not going to come back. You traded him for a guy that's at kind of not the high point in his career.
Sure.
And we ended up gaining a year or two of money advantage because Haniger's deal's a little shorter and Robbie Ray's deal's longer. But let's paint the picture. Robbie Ray returns right at the All-Star break. That was the plan.
Mm-hmm.
Robbie Ray pitches twice. Robbie Ray can then be traded for a king's ransom. You think you see the market for pitching right now?
Yeah. Especially starters.
So if you didn't have to I could hook them up with a line of credit, short credit, low interest, and maybe they could make their way all the way to July and then they could trade Robbie Ray for triple what they got for him. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So I'm saying for Jerry didn't want to do that. You think Jerry wants to trade guys where the market feels his desperation to get rid of cash? I mean, that's not a good position to be in, right? I'm not. I don't know enough to be real about how much of a cash call that was for this club. I don't know. It clearly was, because why would you do that if you could avoid doing it, right? Robbie Ray, you could just see the picture. Pay him for half a season, you could still get rid of him and get much more.
Right.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, and I'm not saying, and just to be clear, it's not like I'm not saying that the ownership is telling him, hey, you need to improve this team at the deadline or you're out of a job. I just think inherently someone in his position is going to feel the pressure. There's a reason they haven't given him an extension. At least, well, maybe they have privately. They haven't announced it, but there's a reason that he is entering, this is the last year of his deal. And so I think, human nature is you feel the pressure. You feel the pressure to save your job. Does that then... do you become desperate at the deadline? I don't think that they weren't desperate with Rosarina. They haven't been desperate with Garcia. And even if they were to give up a package that included two of their top three prospects, Hancock and maybe somebody else, I don't even think that's desperate for Guerrero. But I just, does it change? I'm wondering for Dipoto himself, because of where he is at contractually right now, does it change his mindset of how aggressive that he wants to be at the deadline? Because I think it's safe to say this is the most aggressive they've ever been in his tenure.
Right. Yeah, they have been. I don't know what the rationale behind that was, because here you were sort of cash short, and then suddenly we have room. I really don't know what it all looks like. I don't know. But then we trade closers and get guys that help us in the future. The last 2 years, right? Yeah. Trade closers that are Whirling, Graveman, and Seawald, and kind of pry them out of the role and kind of send a bad message to the clubhouse. And not saying that Rojas and Canzone aren't nice little players, but
sure,
and what they got for Graveman wasn't much, and those guys were closers. They were the guys, and yet now we have all kinds of room to do stuff. We feel that we're right at the and maybe they feel that it's keen time, because the Rangers are obviously struggling, and the Astros are better, but they're we can compete with them, right? We can compete with the Astros. So they feel their chances. And the other thing is that if you win the division, that's a much better place to be than have to play uphill as a wild card, right? So they must feel that it's just a much better situation to try to deal into. And everybody's hunting pitching. The Mariners are hunting offense, I think, for the most part.
How much hunting pitching? Do you think there's a direct correlation to what they did offensively this weekend based on what they did with Rosarina? It just seemed like, and they hear the players talk about it, that adding someone like him and the message that was sent from the front office / ownership that, hey, we're going all in right now. We are desperately trying to make this team better for you guys because you guys have put together a good season. We're going to reward you for that. Does that carry over to the clubhouse? It felt like it. I mean, it felt like it on Friday night specifically.
The whole tenor of the club changed when they got a Rosarina. It just felt like, whoa, right? We got a guy. He's a real bona fide 5-tool guy that can hit in the clutch and hit in the middle of the lineup. He's a dynamic player. Wow, that's great. That's really helping us. We need that, right? And particularly, when 2 of your stars are out, it was opportune time to just inject some enthusiasm into the team.
Mm-hmm.
And just a good player, a good player.
And they need some personality. I like that he's got a personality. I like that Robles has got a personality. I mean, Julio obviously does, but I enjoy that kind of stuff. I mean, I think they have, not to say that, you need to be showboating and all that kind of stuff. I'm just saying that it's nice to have a little bit of some flair to your team, as long as, they're playing hard and all that kind of stuff. But I don't know. I enjoy it. I enjoy what a Rosarina can provide. Robles the other day, and I was talking earlier with somebody about this, that I can't remember which game. I think it was against the White Sox, where he's blowing a bubble while he's during his AB. I mean, I don't know why I like that. It just kind of maybe signals how relaxed he is at the plate.
Second lease on life for Robles, and he's taking advantage of it. He was very well thought of with Washington. They thought he was going to be a superstar, and he did have some great moments at the beginning of his career. Then he tailspun, and they gave up on him. Mm-hmm. And he knows this is the opportunity to reestablish himself. He knows that, and he's got some talent. And he plays, like you said, he plays with a little bit of a relaxed approach, and he's aggressive, and he plays hard. I mean, I like everything about him, and he's kept his mouth shut ever since he's been there.
Yeah,
he didn't play right away. He kept his mouth shut. He plays a little bit. He hit. You hear nothing from him. Nothing. He seems like a great teammate. I think this is a great story if he continues to hit like he's been hitting. And Rosarina is a real good player. And having some relaxed, players that kind of play with confidence, maybe the others will relax as well. That's the hope. And then as you get Rodriguez back in, he folds in, and he's maybe not feeling like it's all on him now. That could be a positive thing. And hopefully he comes back and he finds it again like he had it going, right? He had it going a little bit. I mean, there's just some things, and I've talked about Julio. Julio's got to get on balance in the box. He's got to get on balance. He's got to get a good ball to hit. I don't think those are overnight, solve those things overnight, but maybe he's had a chance to kind of step back from a little bit and kind of take a look at what's going on and watch himself and say to himself, wow, I really am off balance, and I am swinging at bad pitches, and I got to tighten that up a little bit. And maybe I can do that now. Maybe I don't have to feel like I got to hit a 3-run homer every time I go to the plate because I got Rosarina now.
Yeah.
And I got Robles producing.
Yeah.
And we got some guys, and we're getting a little bit of production, from our cameo, right? Foster's come out. He swung the bat pretty good. Polanco's suddenly reborn, like we talked about. So there's other elements in the lineup that maybe allow him to be a little more relaxed and be the player that he can be. Raleigh's interesting too. Raleigh's so streaky, right? He got hot over the weekend. There's a guy, I'll tell you what, you can't throw it hard enough for Raleigh. That guy can hit anybody's fastball, but his bat leaves the zone. I mean, if he would just pretend that the right field foul pole wasn't like somewhere in the middle of the upper deck and on the right field foul line, and move that foul pole over a little bit and aim a little bit more up the middle of the field. I mean, that guy's got incredible pop. It's just letting it go a little longer into the strike zone. Man, he could be really something. And he's a great player. Mm-hmm. I love the player. I think he's fantastic.
Yeah.
He's a great catcher. He plays hard. He's tough. You never get this drama. He gets nailed all the time. No drama. Just rubs it. And
old school.
Keeps playing. None of this oh my God, we got to have the 5-alarm fire and 5 doctors out there.
That's a move, though, I want to see them. And I was disappointed that Jansen ended up going to Boston. Is that I want them to – it would be great if they could find a backup catcher.
Well, that's Garver now.
Well, but
the DH is not his position anymore. He's lost it.
But like
he's He's not out of the DH position, and now he's going to DH in the right spot, or he's going to catch.
Yeah,
his at bats are being lessened, because we have the club has other answers in the DH.
Just don't do the thing where they play them both. That's what I'm trying to eliminate. Maybe they've done that with the acquisitions they've done now.
Raleigh is playing all the time.
Yeah,
he can't get a day off.
I know, but that's what we worry. They are running him into the ground.
Anyways, they're in good shape. This starting rotation. I now understand. I should tell you this, Jason. I now understand. It took me a while. It's really slow. My bad. As to why Logan Gilbert got pushed back in the beginning of the series. Because these guys were already looking 2 weeks ahead to make sure they didn't have Miller and Wu pitching in Fenway Park. Because that's what they did. They jiggered it so that they could match up with the three studs in Fenway Park.
Okay.
Plus, Wu and Miller struggle holding runners. And the Red Sox run like crazy.
Run like,
and they got left-hand hitting. So it's a different game.
So that was the method to the madness.
Place to pitch. You feel like the whole ballpark is coming in on you. It's squeezing on left field. It's the audience. It's the team. It's just a whole different element.
Okay.
And so I think they chose to line it up that way so they could have their three guys pitching in Fenway. So that's what they've done.
Okay.
Now we're here. They got the three best guys pitching in this series.
Three best guys and facing a team in which they have really struggled. The coming out of the break there for the Red Sox, they're 2-7 so far. So yeah, they're not off to a good second half of the season. You know what? Who's off to a good second half of the season? You, Bill Krueger. Follow him again on X. He's going to we're going to convince him to do a Q&A sometime on social media on X, but follow him at Bill Krueger 44. The Bill Krueger podcast released every Monday, 1 o'clock, YouTube, Apple, Spotify, wherever you find your podcasts, and of course at pucksports.com. Come on, you do it. 30. Answer everyone's question on X. That would be great. People would love it. They love your honesty. They love talking. They love listening to you talk baseball.
Well, you've given me the platform to chat, Jason. I appreciate that. We've had a lot of fun with this podcast, and
it's been good.
It's coming into the crescendo part of the season here.
I know.
So we should have a lot of fun each and every week.
Yeah, we should. Thank you. We appreciate it. We'll talk a week from today.
All right, man. See you.